now that we've kind of got our plans categorized, we've got QRP, we're going to say 401k for the rest of the night, and that includes solo 401k, and we've got IRAs. Both of these can be invested in real estate. Both of these can have UBIT, that's unrelated business income tax. They can both have UBIT liability. They can both have UBTI, and they can both have UDFI. So there is a very important distinction between them. But when you hear stuff on the internet, somebody saying, set up this account, there's no UBIT. Now we know our terms, they all have UBIT. There's no UBTI, right? That's certainly not true. And I've been involved in some of these Facebook groups and chats where people are saying, Bernard, I heard on this podcast, or this guy said, this plan doesn't have UBIT. They all do. But, there's always an element of truth. And the truth is just a little more nuanced. So there is a very important carve out for real estate acquisition indebtedness for qualified organizations. Now, qualified organizations includes a whole bunch of different types of entities. Important to our conversation tonight, qualified retirement plans have this important exemption. So more or less 98% of the way with regards to UBIT, UBTI, UDFI, all retirement accounts are the same, right? And I'll toss in, we do self-directed HSAs. Those have the same rules as IRAs. So the 98% of the way, they're the same. However, when we get to this exemption, so we get to real estate investing, and that's why this is really important for real estate investors and syndicators, there is an exemption with regards to UDFI for real estate acquisition indebtedness. So it is specific to real estate. So a 401k plan that's engaged in an active business, you've got UBIT. A 401k plan that's generating interest income that's debt financed, you've got UDFI. But a 401k plan that is generating real estate rental income that is debt financed may have a UDFI exemption. So it's key to understand, though, that this is an exemption from the general scheme. The general scheme is everything applies to 401ks, same as do IRAs. Now, being that this is an exemption, there are exemptions or exceptions to the exception, right? So we've got an exception to the rule, and that exception has exceptions. So when folks say a 401k plan or any other type of qualified plan does not have UDFI from real estate, that's not entirely true because there are exceptions to that rule. So the key thing I think that what people should take away is that this stuff is far more nuanced, and like the broad kind of across the board statements do a disservice. And we'll get into things to discuss why UDFI is not a deal breaker. We'll segue to that. And what I find is most folks are disappointed after the fact to hear that either nobody told them about UBIT, or that somebody told them that, hey, there's this thing called UDFI, but you're exempt, and it doesn't quite apply to them. So, and I would add to that, folks that have chosen not to use retirement accounts for real estate because they've been scared off. Some folks do use UDFI as a bit of a scare tactic. Those folks, that would also be a misstep.